I noticed one guy today rush and go after he got outed on radio. Rush go announce him renounce his thing. He wasn't born in Jamaica though. He was born in London apparently. Me no operate so. I'm not moving on any bummy basis. Then I will give it up because I intend to serve Jamaica to the best of my capacity. And I'll give it up. But I'm not rushing to go do it because 2 guys say I should or 3 guys say I go. You know?
Bless up my people. Welcome back to the channel. It's a girl and Isabel Rose. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Thanks to returning subscribers. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notification bell on. Put it on all so you won't miss an upload from me. On the road to 20k, help me to get there, my people. So in this one, my people, the People's National Party addresses growing tension between supporters of Alric Campbell and Dr. Dawes, as well as opposition senator calls for togetherness as it pertains to the issue of low trust in relation to the NIDS. And opposition leader Mark Golding will not yield under pressure. Stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Run over to my other platform, subscribe over there, get that channel to 1k for me please and thanks. Some months ago, my people, we seen some flare up of, discontent between 2 of the caretakers of the People's National Party, namely Alric Campbell and Dr. Dawes, in which we seen the party officials had chosen, Alfred Dawes to be the opposition spokesman on health. And he has been putting in the work, my people. And so that tension had died down from last year, and even after the whole local government election, we're seeing the People's National Party in a good spirit, especially in the whole, St. Catherine area. Only to come now, my people, the People's National Party had to keep a meeting in Portmore to address this ongoing tension. So me, the things that the tension died down and gone, my people, but apparently not. And so it's still ongoing, and we're even seeing supporters, of Alric saying that they should do a runoff basically, because if they don't do the runoff, then, the People's National Party might lose those seats because they won't be voting, or maybe they will go and give the Jamaica Labour Party candidates their votes. And so the meeting was called to reconcile differences, right, my people, and we even seen Dayton speaking to news media as well as the opposition leader, Mark Golding. And so I'm making the ear walk on.
We are here with the party leaders, trying to iron out some issues we have with the selection for the Senate, Dr. Dawes to be the representative of our constituency. We are in a problem with that, to work on the party. First thing them do is to bypass the delegates. Don't give us the opportunity to vote for who we want. And now them want to have a meeting on Sunday to, as far as me concerned, to endorse him then, so to speak, for him to be the candidate. We actually no, we're not working with that. We're not working with that. We want the party to give us a runoff between Dr. Daryl and Comrade Campbell. And anyone win that runoff, we will work with them. And we are all comrades. We're in the meetings and the Gen set is saying all kind of stuff. The party leader is saying all kind of stuff also. And we are saying to them, you know what we're saying? We want you to give us what we want. We want a runoff. And that we want. And if we don't get it, the party will suffer for it. Tell you. The party will pay for it because they cannot win the seat without us.
Some delegates told us that they won't be able to win the constituency if Dr. Dawes is a candidate. What do you say?
I discuss the party's internal business private. That's where I discuss the private. What I do know is that the People's National Party holds an 8% lead over the Jamaica Labour Party. Right? That's what I know. I don't go around and discuss individual constituency.
Is there any fear of squandering that if situations like this arise and you're sugarcoating it, sir?
No. What the fear is that this country is going down a precipice where we have a leader who is uncertified and the media is not interested in digging that.
You know where I feel very pleased that we had the meeting today. Everybody spoke their mind frankly, and you know there was a nice spirit by the end of the meeting, a nice spirit of love and cooperation. More dialogue necessary, unity in the house, and I'm very happy for that. Dialogue has to be ongoing, and you know we're happy with what we've achieved tonight.
And so in every situation, you're going to want the best candidate to represent. And so I see some of the people them run out and I say basically, you know, them people they basically get paid to come and do this. The party is moving in a good direction and them come back with this year, you know, animosity. But my people want to hear from Uno. We're seeing the opposition leader saying, you know, they had a good outcome at the meeting. But I want to hear from Uno what to think about this constant ongoing rift in the St. Catherine division. In this segment, my people, we're seeing debate in the House of Senate, where we're seeing Dana Morris, who is the Minister of Information, present the whole NIDS in Parliament again. And we're seeing opposition Senator Frazer basically calling for unison to put aside political stripes and confront the big issue of low trust in relation to the information Jamaicans will provide to the government as it pertains to NIDS, and if those information could be abused or misused. And all of this come from the whole leakage of Mark Golding's information, you know, as it pertains to Daryl Vaz. And a whole heap of assumptions surrounding that he got those information from official persons. And it's alleged that, you know, it's piker. And a whole heap of Jamaicans never happy about that, you know, seeing that information could be so privileged to parliamentarians so easily, so them come leak your personal information, you know. They said that he violated the whole Data Protection Act. And so I'm going to hear what Mrs. Frazer says, because a whole heap of people are run out now, say them not trust the whole NIDS. You understand?
Minister, through you, Mr. President, I want to make just some quick points on the National Identification and Registration Regulations, a very thick one. And I want to say, before I make those very quick points, Minister, that, you know, despite the emotions that we may feel, and sometimes we don't want to listen on the other side, I believe that there is a big issue here that we have to confront, and it has to do with that of trust. It has to do with persons feeling comfortable and confident that their information, although given voluntarily, will not be used or abused or misused. And for one moment, I want us to just put our colors aside and listen to the bigger issue, because we can't afford for us not to, as legislators and certainly as policymakers, to let that point be lost upon us, because it is critical. And if we want the success of NIDS or any other legislation that is going to require people giving their information, then we have to ensure that we create a framework where persons feel that their information is protected. And I don't want that to be lost upon us in the cut and thrust of us talking here. But having said that, Minister, I want to make some very quick points specific to the legislation, the regulation. And I thought I had, okay, at page, it speaks to photo ID, and I recall, I can't remember what page, but I think it says that if you're under the age of 6 years old, then you do not have to take the photo, but you could submit a photo. And I wondered why 6. And I tell you why I wondered. Because, you know, as we make modern legislation, we have to ensure that legislations are all aligned. At the passport office, you can apply for a passport for your child as an infant, but once the child turns 5 years old, the child has to present him or herself. That is the rule at passport office, at least that is my experience. And because we already have that in existence, it may seem like a insignificant point, but it's important because one of the things we have to do is try and streamline age. We have to try and streamline how we do things. And I wanted to understand why 6 years and why not 5 years? Why not 12? Why not 15? So that is something that I'm putting out there, Minister, for consideration as well. The other issue I have to talk about has to do with on page 11. Now, at page 11, where provisions for essentially what it deals with is when the enrollment officer is taking information from someone who is unable to write or read. And again, in a low trust environment, which we are not feeding, we are simply accepting that it exists, I wondered whether there wouldn't be a good if a third party is present, particularly for someone who is unable to see, someone who is unable to read, someone who can't write, and you have the enrollment officer who is taking all this information. And it's not unusual, because when somebody is deponing or when someone is given information in another case, you always have a third party who comes and stays there to make sure that information that is given is recorded correctly. I'm not seeing any provision for that here. And I believe that the presence of a third-party witness would add to the process. Now on page 13, and it's not too far off from what Senator Bunting mentioned, but it has to do with the fingerprint and the purpose for which it's been taken. Now, you may recall, Minister, although you weren't in the Senate at the time, that one of the concerns we had when we challenged the then legislation was the fact that it was compulsory. It is here now, and I'm not going to make an issue about it. However, I do not know if there is sufficient comfort that is given so that persons feel that their information, particularly their fingerprint, is only going to be used for the specific purpose. And as the minister with charge, I think it is your burden to appease and to offer comfort to persons so they know that the fingerprint is not going to be used for any other purpose but for the purpose of NIDS. And on that same point, I want to also talk about the TRN. And I know Senator Bunting had asked a question, but it's something that jumped out at me. And then I went to look at the Act, because you had mentioned that the TRN is being used solely for the purpose of the registration. And at page 16, it is stated, but then you go on to say, unless such further action is taken with respect to the registration as may be permitted under the Act, whether initiated by the registration authority under 17D of the Revenue Administration Act or by the individual himself. And the understanding is that when one applies for a NIDS registration number, then the process having taken place at the NIDS Secretariat, I will call it, then it transfers to the TAG, who then checks its database, and I'm telling you what I understand from reading the regulations. It checks its database to ensure that that person doesn't already have a TRN, and then if the person doesn't, then it is given a random TRN. That is what I understand. But what is to prevent the TAG from saying, Sophia, she's over 18, she's working, she's not paying taxes? You know, you see what I'm saying? We have to ensure that that line, and I understand that the Revenue Protection, the Revenue Administration has to do what it must do. I get that. I understand. But we also have to ensure, again, to appease people, because we want this buy-in, we have to ensure that people know that their information is not going to be used. They want to register for NIDS, and that's all it is. But having registered for NIDS, it doesn't mean that 2 weeks or a couple of months after, that TAJ is going to be coming to you. There has to be that kind of comfort that is given.
And after hearing her pressing all those questions, my question is, will the people ever trust them with their NIDS information? Because my people, fingerprint and all works are going in this NIDS thing here. So will the people, will they come or whatever they have to say, will the people trust them as it pertains to their personal information? Answer that, my people. Last but not least, my people, big update on the whole dual citizenship as it pertains to parliamentarians, and we even seen Matthew Samuda basically confessing that he is indeed a British born and that he has taken steps based on what Prime Minister Andrew Holness has said to renounce his UK citizenship. And so I don't even believe that he should have even gone that road, because we are run go renounce and UK is still a part of the whole, Commonwealth and all of that. You shouldn't yield to pressure, because if them never come and a pressure Mark Golding, you wouldn't run for go say you're going to renounce your citizenship when you have been sitting in the parliament for how long, knowing that you are a British born. And even if you renounce now, later on you still can go back and you will always be a citizen of the UK. And so we see Mark Golding come out, my people. Whole heap of pressure is mounting for him to renounce. You understand? A man that was born and raised in Jamaica, spent all his life in Jamaica, more than anywhere else, has served Jamaica very well, says that he will not yield to the pressure until, they put something down in the whole constitution. You understand? And so credit goes out to ISAT Context Matters for these short clippings.
Pronunciation thing. I don't feel any rush because I'm lawfully in the parliament. I'm a Jamaican born citizen. Born Jamaican citizen. I have a right to be in the parliament if the people elect me. And the people of South St. Andrew elected me. So I'm there to represent them in parliament. So I noticed one guy today rush and go, after he got outed on radio, rush go announce him renounce his thing. He wasn't born in Jamaica though. He was born in London apparently. Me no operate so. I'm not moving on any bummy basis. I'm meditating on this thing, saying my prayers on this thing, and I'm listening to what is happening. I want a proper dialogue and conversation in Jamaica about dual citizenship, about who we are, and about the millions of Jamaicans who live outside of Jamaica, many of whom are dual citizens, and how we plan to engage with them and deal with them and treat them. And when we get through that debate, if the preponderance of opinion is that I should, as leader of the PNP, as leader of the opposition, as Prime Minister in waiting, shouldn't have a dual citizenship, then I will give it up, because I intend to serve Jamaica to the best of my capacity. And I'll give it up. But I'm not rushing to go do it because 2 guys say I should or 3 guys say I go. Because for every 2 or 3 that speak on radio, there are another 20 who talk to me off the air and tell me how they feel. So I have to be listening to everybody. And I think it's a very important discussion to have at this time. We're having a diaspora conference coming up in Jamaica. We have, as you know, there's another one being staged by a group that is not happy with the way that the diaspora movement is being managed by the government. All that is going on right now. This is an important debate that Jamaica needs to have. Very many Jamaicans depend on their relatives abroad to survive. Many of those relatives are dual citizens. How do they feel about being told that their relatives who mind them or support them or provide help for them are not good enough to serve in our Jamaican parliament? I don't know how they're going to feel about that, because it's a kind of disrespect argument where you say you must send your money come, but we're not really rate you as Jamaicans. I don't, to me that is a violation to them or of them. So I am just listening and watching. I have the form. The same form that the guy, same sign. I have that form. I printed already.
And I believe there shouldn't be any form of pressure to renounce any other citizenship. Let that be to the mind of the person. No pressure is needed when more than half on both sides have dual citizenship. and is there in Jamaica serving the people, whether them must serve them to their liking or not. So my people, want to talk up based on everything that was said in this video. Tell me what you think about everything. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Run go over to my other platform, Instagram and Facebook, and follow me over there at Anisabel Rose. Check out the YouTube store, make a purchase, it goes in support of the channel. Check out the YouTube membership. You get a lot of benefits by becoming a member. Only a small fee per month to become a member of the Anisabel Rose movement. New viewers, come on board, journey with me, join the family. Subscribe to the channel, like up the videos, share out the videos, support the ABR movement. On the road to 20k, help me to get there, my people. It's free to like and share out the videos them. Do that as a command on the videos, my people, so other persons can get the videos. Stay tuned for more videos, stay tuned for more updates. Wanna big up on yourself.